Hello and welcome to my channel. In my previous video, I mentioned to say this will be another video by IaSH. Are you guys ready to hear how she responded to the backlash from people over her video of her not voting for Biden? Well, if you are, then it's time to grab your popcorns because this issue is getting even more and more interesting. Here's the video.
I've been reflecting on how grateful I am for all of the backlash that I've received, and I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm saying that truthfully. Because if I had kept my misgivings in, and I had complicitly and silently voted blue as I have in the past, and as so many of you wanted me to, then my eyes would not have been pried open to how lost our democracy truly is, and I wouldn't be getting this firsthand look at how many of you quickly and eagerly turn cruel and violent towards people of the global majority and marginalized people when we dare not to be 100% complacent in our alignment with you. Now, fortunately for me, the people that I listened to had given me plenty of fair warning that this is exactly who many of you are, so I wasn't shocked. But I'm getting to experience the brunt of it firsthand, so thank you for providing that. Now, with my eyes open, I ask you to consider. Continue to do what you're doing. Continue to vote blue no matter who, and continue to close your ranks. Close your ranks to people like me. Push people like me as far away from yourselves and the party as you can. Push away the people who dare to criticize or express frustration with the electoral system or Biden or the party, because we are dangerous and we are the problem, and you should be afraid of dangers and problems, and you should be afraid of Project 2025. So also push away the people who cannot be frightened into submission with Project 2025. Get us all away from the party, and then take a look around at how far fewer people you have left. And that because of your own choices and your own actions, you left yourself with a hand-waving, pearl-clutching people who are frightened and weak. And then the rest of us will get to see how many of us there actually are. The people who have been paying attention, the people who understand the system, the people who have been keeping an eye on Project 2025 longer than you have, and aren't frightened by it because we are battle-hardened, we know what we have been through, and we know that we will survive. And good luck to the rest of you. Or you can call us in, and you can actually make space for us, and you can listen. I'm still willing, but you have already lost many of the best. And make no mistake that they have lost nothing because they were on your side and you were never on theirs.
Now, in this video, we heard her talking about and advising people to consider and continue what they are doing by voting blue, no matter who it is, and to continue to close ranks to people like her who dare to criticize or express frustration with the electoral system. Now, a perfect question would be, does this video have stitches? Of course it does. And just like you, I'm also wondering whether there will be more backlash from people over her response. With that said, let's get into the stitches and hear what people had to say about her response.
I'm not saying that.
Please go watch that video. Please. I love how unbothered and unmoved she is by y'all. Y'all not finna play with my girl. She said she wasn't going to vote for Biden like many of us have, and everybody got pissed. And I just love the way that the liberal mind works. It has y'all thinking that just because someone might criticize the Democrats or doesn't vote blue no matter who, that they're Republican. In your minds, politics is a binary. It only exists like this, right? You're either a liberal or a conservative, Republican or Democrat. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. When in actuality, it looks more like this, with that being the center, right? You could even add an up and down axis if you wanted to, but hey, we're just gonna keep it simple. This is where the Democrats exist on the axis, and that's the Republicans, right? Oh my God, look at these two parties. They are so far apart. They are on the opposite side of the screen. They could not be more different from each other. They're night and day. Psych, psych, psych. All right, this is American politics, and I'm tired of pretending that this is not how it's always been. The Democratic Party is a center-right-ass party. They always have been. We have not seen any leftist movement in this country ever, if you ask me. The gap between those two dots is closing, and it's been closing for a long time. Not just that, they're both moving further right as they do, which makes sense when both political parties are bought out by the same billion-dollar corporations, by the same billionaires. They call him that man Joe for a reason. It's because he's funding a genocide. And the only reason y'all are so scared of Donald Trump winning the election is because you think that he let that happen here. Not that it's happening at all, but that he would let it happen here. It was only ever about you. Because you don't mind that genocide is happening, you just don't want it to happen here.
Cruel and violent.
I already made a stitch to that video before, and in my stitch, somebody made a comment basically celebrating Amy making the decision to have to vote for Biden in resignation of a not better candidate. And to see that after all the treatment that she's getting and continues to get just seems cruel. And I deleted that video or that comment because it gave me that type of ick. To see so many people tell us that they need black people, indigenous people, and people of color to continue to support a person who is currently funding a agenda for the sake of their lifestyle being at risk is just more free labor, and I can't do that anymore.
And continued closure, right?
You know what's always baffled me? The fact that we only have two parties. Like, why? I never understood the picking two of the lesser evils. They're both evil. When we go to the poll, we have to pick either bigotry or genocide? You gotta give me a better option. I know Google is free, but TikTok is faster. Can someone tell me why there's only two parties? Like, can we have a third or a fourth, maybe even a fifth? Like, you can't, like, these cannot be our only options. It cannot.
Pride open to how lost our democracy truly is.
Hi, Amy. This is kind of, I'm trying to do a validation post here. If it lands bad or doesn't feel good, let me know. But I just wanted to bring to people's attention that nearly a year ago, I made a post about how Biden lost me when he declared the pandemic over, because he made it very clear that he didn't care about people with disabilities. And I did not get nearly the amount of backlash that I see you and other Black, Indigenous, and people of color getting right now. So this is definitely an instance of white people trying to control the global majority, I think.
We gotta talk. And there are times for gentle call-ins, and there's times to fuck all bullshit out for what it is. And it's gonna be a call-out moment. I've been observing these past couple weeks the way a lot of y'all are treating creators like Amy, Black women, Black queer creators, Black men, other like Indigenous creators, and how fucking vile so many of you are. A lot of you have come out and shown your ass. And I need to, let's zoom out on this whole like Biden-Trump fiasco that y'all are experiencing. Let's remember that we are in this position of choosing between these motherfuckers because of us. It is our fault that we are here choosing between two crusty old white men that have done heinous shit on both ends. It is our fault. Our collective apathy, our soft or hardline support of white supremacy, our inability to truly grasp what white supremacy has done across the United States as a whole for centuries. This is our fucking fault that we are stuck in the middle of these two people that are running for president. So it's amazing to me. It takes a lot of fucking gall for a lot of you to sit here, run around telling Black, Indigenous, people of color how to vote, how they are betraying you if they don't vote the way that you want them to, or trying to shame them or guilt them into voting for Biden or whatever. When so many of us, like, you refuse to look yourselves in the mirror and understand, again, like, that we are here because of us. So take the bass out of your fucking voice, grab a seat, look in the mirror, look at our history, look at our generational bullshit, and understand once again that we are in this position because of us. And your knee-jerk reactions to get shitty with Black, Indigenous, people of color is very fucking telling. And furthermore, these creators, like Amy was just saying, they're thanking you, like, you're showing them. You're showing them. And then per fucking usual, a bunch of you guys are gonna, white creators, are gonna turn around and victimize yourself. We did this shit. We have to own it. Check your fucking privilege. Check your fucking fragility at the door. And sit down and stop talking fucking crazy to creators that don't look like us, that have put in so much work to offer their education, their experiences freely to us. And y'all, again, come on, just show your fucking ass. Do better. Do better.
Amy Chen just posted a video about the Biden and third-party voting situation, and oh my god.
I want to start off this video by saying what everybody did to Amy on her page because she said what she said was completely wrong. The work that she puts in her platform and everything she does for marginalized people, she shouldn't have been treated that way. That was dead wrong. That being said, I do also disagree with Amy and her stance, and here's why. First off, I'm going to start off with voters who are 65 and older make up larger shares in both parties than voters under 30. However, the difference is much larger among Republican voters. 25% are 65 and older, while we don't care about the Republicans right now. But this is what I do want you to look at. So look at the color for 18 to 29, the color for 30 to 49, the color for 50 to 64, and then 65 up, right? We'll just focus on the total and the Dems right now. Let's go to the total. So right here at the bottom is the TikTok platform, Gen Z, everybody in that age range, 18 to 29. And then you have right here, older millennials and Gen X. You know, I'm an older millennial. I'm not a Gen X, but I'm an older millennial, and I'm in this bracket right here. And then you have the purple of people 54 to 65. I'm sorry, 50 to 65, right? Who are not at all on TikTok. You know, maybe some Gen X aren't on TikTok either. Like, you got to consider that they're like I don't want to say wishy-washy, but, you know, we can't really figure Gen X out in regard to their political views. So getting to them wouldn't be as solid as trying to get to an older millennial or a Gen Z, right? So what people are trying to say is, just because we're advocating for voting for independent parties on this platform, be realistic about who is on this platform, right? You would only be expressing yourselves to yourselves, right? While at least half of this, probably more than half of this, is still going to vote the way that they traditionally vote. And all of the purple is definitely going to vote the way that they traditionally vote. So although that this platform age group makes up the smallest portion of voting power, you giving your vote to an independent party that's not going to win is not going to do anything but take away from this group, and this group, making the Republicans have a way better chance of winning this election year. I know what's going on in Palestine is completely awful. And being the human beings that we are, it's awful to think that we are supporting a regime that is helping suppress those people. But we have to think, and we have to strategize, and we have to truly understand the art of political decision making with the reality that we have. The Republican Party will not do anything other than what's happening now. They might even do worse. On top of giving the power back to them, us in the United States, we're going to have a whole whirlwind of issues to deal with on top of mourning everything that's going on in Palestine. This is not a situation about pointing fingers and having your egos all involved about who's right, what's really progressive, what's not really progressive. Because like another creator said in her video, I'm going to try to tag her in this too, is, you know, the way that you vote is affecting everybody. Voting is a collective effort.
And even if Donald Trump goes to jail, I do not want this man to be the president of the United States. I don't. If you really want to make a difference, vote in your primary elections, vote in your any local elections, because it's Congress that are the real monsters. I'm not saying that, our POTUS isn't either, but Congress are the ones that make the real difference. And that's where we should focus to make the dent and make the change that we want to have. I hope I expressed myself in a way that you could understand in this video. I want to be very empathetic. I understand that people don't understand certain things. And if I'm wrong about anything, I'm open to hearing about it, hopefully in a respectful way, because what happened to Amy, like I said, was terrible. Amy Chan, I am very, very sorry you had to endure that.
Criticism of democracy has been a key part of democracy and its functions. As Josiah Opa explains, the legitimate role of critics of democracy may be difficult to define, but one approach is to divide critics into good internal critics. Now, those who call upon the constitutional regime to be true to its own highest principles, and barred external critics who reject the values embraced and nurtured by constitutional democracy. Now, since classical antiquity and through the modern era, democracy has been associated with rule by the people, rule by the majority, and free selection or election, either through direct participation or elected representation, respectively. Political thinkers have approached critics of democratic political systems from different perspectives. Now, many times it is not necessary to oppose democracy by its simplest definition, rule by the people, but rather seek to question or expand this popular definition. Now, in their work, they distinguish between democratic principles that are effectively implemented through undemocratic procedures, and democratic principles that are implemented through democratic procedures and variations of the same kind. Now, for instance, some critics of democracy would agree with Winston Churchill's famous remark that no one pretends that democracy is perfect or all-wise. Indeed, it has been said that other critics may be more prepared to describe existing democratic regimes as anything but rule by the people. Now, critics of democracy have often tried to highlight democracy's inconsistencies, paradoxes, and limits by contrasting it with other forms of governments, such as a less democratic epistocracy or more democratic lotocracy. Now, is it bad to critique the government or electoral system? I don't think so, because critiquing helps people know what is not being done by the government and what is being done by the government. Now, is it bad to discourage people to vote? Yes, it is, because if they don't vote, then what? Now, did Amy Chan's video discourage anyone from voting? Well, that is a question I am posing to you, my viewers. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section so that I know what you think about this question. Now, before I go, let me share a few comments from people concerning Amy Chan's video or her response. Now, here are the comments from people. Politics is not a team sport. It's very nuanced, especially right now. Keep speaking up and speaking out. This one says, I value my vote too much to just give it away because I don't like the other candidate. Love you, Amy. I'm still coming out of a lot of political insulation, but you have exposed me to so much excellence. Your own and very nuanced, especially right now. Keep speaking up and speaking out. This one says, I value my vote too much to just give it away because I don't like the other candidate. Love you, Amy. I'm still coming out of a lot of political insulation, but you have exposed me to so much excellence, your own and that of others. You validate my experiences criticizing Biden on this app. I also look towards to 2028. What's gonna happen then if or when Biden can't run again? Who then will be voted for? Okay, we have come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. From me, it's a bye-bye, and see you in my next video.